And welcome back, everyone, again. Once again, my name is Paul Matamoros. I'm your host for Real Men of Real Estate, and I have my special guest, the Mayor of Rio Rancho, Mayor Gregg Hull. We were just talking before this on the segment one, we were talking about Rio Rancho, the Civic Center Plaza, and geographically, why is it centered in what is Rio Rancho? And where at one time, it was in the south side of the city, but that was giving a lot of the commerce and all the tax revenue to the neighboring city. And it just makes sense to move this geographically in the center. And most cities that do this really reap the benefit as time goes on, because what you end up having is a sprawl of neighborhoods that really encompass the Civic Center Plaza. So fantastic, Mayor. So Mayor, the question now is it important to re-energize the development of the new Civic Center Plaza, and why?
It absolutely is. The first and foremost, Paul, the importance of re-energizing City Center for Rio Rancho is the fact that we've invested, first off, so much out there. As we just talked about in the last segment, we have an event center, we have an employment center, we have City Hall, we have a hospital, we have 2 college campuses. So reinvigorating that area and getting growth started again after the stagnation from 2008. New Mexico's really kind of felt the recession longer, and it's taken us longer to emerge out of that recession than some of the surrounding states. And so we're working hard to get things going, but you can't just walk away, obviously, from investments of this type. So you've got all the infrastructure out there, you've got the roads, you've got all of this investment that's out there, literally hundreds of millions of dollars. So in order for the citizens of Rio Rancho to realize the benefit of this and to reap the dividends on the investment, you have to continue to invest. It is one of the, what I tell some of my friends when they're investing and they see maybe one of their investments dip. I go, well, that's just the time to buy more,
Right, no,
you can get
exactly.
you can get in for a better price,
Definitely, and I dabble in the stock market, so I totally get it. Mayor, you mentioned something about the really important components that have already moved there. You did mention the University of New Mexico. Can you touch a little bit on that? What did they do there?
So originally, University of New Mexico, they held a very large section of land out in that area. And so as part of the collaboration is that back when City Center was put out there, the leadership at the time wanted to see the children of Rio Rancho have the opportunity to actually go to college and get a higher education in Rio Rancho without having to leave the city. So UNM came in, the city actually passed what's known as the higher ed GRT tax. And that was a little increment of money that was put on the sales tax that allowed us to fund the building of the initial college building. Now, by the time I took office, it really had never reached the potential that it was expected to. Once again, it was a victim of the recession and didn't really take off the way we thought the way it was planned to take off. So when I took office, we more or less re-envisioned the UNM campus and took it from essentially the regular, I would call just your college UNM, to the health sciences. If UNM, we have the UNM college campus, and we have UNM health sciences, which is where you learn all the medical degrees and so on and so forth. So we wanted to I felt like we should transition that building from the regular college campus over to the health sciences campus and pair it up with the UNM hospital that's in very close juxtaposition of where all of this is at. So it's very, very close. It's got some really great synergy if we could take the kids that are learning medical degrees and put them to work in the hospital that's right next door. So we started that transition, and then along with that transition, we wanted to expand the other things that were taught out there. And as you know, Paul, we just very proud of the fact that because of the work that we started 7 years ago to do this transition, it also resulted in the building of the new Orthopedic Center of Excellence, which is the UNM Health Sciences teaching facility in the area of orthopedics. And what's really cool about that, and very, very visionary, is some of the 3D joint printing that's coming online is actually going to be happen right there. So they literally can kind of 3D print your joints and do your and so it's really cool. It's very visionary, cutting edge medical technology, and it's going to be happening right in the city of Rio Rancho. So
that's so
this
true.
puts us back online.
Yeah, I remember we had a NAOP meeting, and I think one of the doctors there gave a presentation, and he did mention that this is a state-of-the-art facility. It is way beyond its time, and that there are even doctors and interns that are wanting to work there, some of the best in the nation. So this is really, really good too for Rio Rancho. I did want to mention about the 2008 recession, the Great Recession, that a lot of people might think that, well, why is it taking so long? But if you really think about it, coastal towns really recuperate a bit faster. What's nice though about Rio Rancho is we're known as high desert, right? We're about a mile up in the air, 5,050 feet up in the air. And so a lot of people looked at Rio Rancho as a place to retire, but not so much now. I mean, people are looking. You don't really have to be older to live here. There are young professionals that are moving here because of so many factors. One, we get more than about 310 days of sunshine, and plus the amount of homes. I mean, what is it? I come from San Francisco, and it was a quarter of the price of real estate there. And so this is a very affordable place, but the secret is out. That's why it's so important for us to really understand that it really needs to be revived and keep this city growing and smart. Keep it growing smart.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. And to that, Paul, is that we are the average age, based on the last census data we had, the average age of Rio Rancho is 36. Do we have a strong retirement population? Absolutely. And, speaking of city center, when we talk about reinvigorating the growth and resparking it, the revitalizing that is what you talked about there, along with the Orthopedic Center of Excellence, just behind that building or to the north of that building, we saw another state-of-the-art building that we just built, and it's a Rio Rancho it's called the Broadmoor Senior Center. Right. And so we've got the new senior center that just opened up this year. Another wonderful facility, brand new, and it adds another building block or a component, a quality of life component to City Center that allows us to continue to expand. And as you know, also we just opened up in conjunction with the college. Going back to that a little bit, we just opened up Campus Park, which is a beautiful new park with an amphitheater and a performing arts area, kind of a stage, if you will, with an iconic fixture called the Sky Room. And the idea there was to really get some art components to City Center and place something iconic. And now I'm going to mention iconic. There's a lot of cities, and this by no means compares to these, but when you go to certain cities like San Francisco, the Golden Gate Bridge. Now this is never going to be the Golden Gate Bridge, but you're in San Francisco when you see the Golden Gate Bridge. Exactly. You know that you're in Sydney, Australia when you see the Opera House. You know you're in Boston when you see the big silver beam. You know you're in Wall Street when you see the bull. This is just something that's very iconic to Rio Rancho, so that when people take a picture of this structure and people say, "Where's that?" Well, that's right. That's Rio Rancho.
No, I remember.
So really.
I'm sorry. I remember in one of my architecture classes in college, they always mentioned that if you wanted to make, say, a progressive movement to a city, build something or design something that's going to attract attention. So you are on spot with that, Mayor Gregg Hull. What the other thing is that, recently in the holidays, I've been taking drives out there, and it is so beautiful to be there. I've even walked out there to that Sky Room and just started singing. I can't really sing, but the echo, I mean, the sound and there is just phenomenal, which, by the way, wasn't one of the symphonies there, or who was there? One of the guests there, right? And we have about
So
a minute left.
Yeah, so we played host to the New Mexico Philharmonic twice, and they were there for the ribbon cutting of the facility, which was July 4th. So they played the orchestra, and then the fireworks went off, and then they loved it so much that they came back and did an additional concert there. They did a free community concert, and we're looking forward to having them come back out all through this summer. And it should be, we're very excited about having them as, to add that real cultural component to Rio Rancho. And let me add that anybody that's watching this video, that backdrop of yours for your backdrop, that is a Sandia mountain view, and that is why that is actually why we were called the City of Vision, is because of the views. You anywhere in Rio Rancho, you can see that mountain behind you.
Yes, Mayor, I'm so sorry. We're going to break for a commercial break now. So, but please stay tuned, because we're going to be asking the mayor another question. Are you behind the development in Civic Center Plaza, or are you all for development? So we'll be right back, folks.